Alright gang, Jules here from FGS, and you know what? Video games can, will, and continue to be pretty bloody relentless at times, to the point where I need to sit down and have a cup of tea in order to escape my escapism. Thankfully, that's where cozy games come in, relaxing titles that do away with time limits, score challenges, and in many cases, any objective at all, and just let the player just while away their time as they chill the F out. So, let's get all warm and comfy by looking at some cozy games that you need to be playing right now, gosh dang it. And to keep me calm and under control, I've roped in Nerd Corner's comment from last week's episode, which is going to become a full-fledged entry in this list. And if you want to be part of next week's video, then have a think about what you pick as a surprise video game smash hit. You know, something that came out of left field and took over the world, or even just your friendship group. But for now, let's have a much more relaxing chat than usual, as I'm Jules, this is FGS, and these are the top 10 cozy games you need to be playing right now. Number 10. Unpacking. If a moving house simulator might sound like an abject nightmare to you, consider that Unpacking offers only the zen satisfaction of organising your belongings into their rightful place, with none of that real-life mental or physical labour of actually upping sticks. Across 8 stages spanning more than 20 years, you'll unpack the protagonist's life into each of their new homesteads. But domestic Tetris this is not, because developer Witchbeam offers a highly forgiving difficulty level, whereby most items can be left in one of many places. Not merely content to serve up some light relaxation, gorgeous pixel art and evocative music and sound design though, Unpacking also presents a slyly effective story. Rather than interrupting the central gameplay to exposit at the player, we learn much about the protagonist's place in their life through environmental cues across the stages, lending unexpected poignance to an already deep and warm nostalgic trip through time. Number 9. Jusant. Not unlike Unpacking, Jusant's mountain climbing gameplay might sound more sweaty palm than chill, but the emphasis is firmly on the meditative appeal of traversal rather than the anxious threat of failure. Jusant has no risk of death, nor any combat to speak of, focusing instead on the singular task of ascending a massive mountain within which numerous biomes are contained. Though you'll have to manage your stamina to avoid falling, this is a predominantly low-stress experience given that the penalty for failure is nothing more than, well, just trying again. Again, like Unpacking, there's no dialogue to speak of here, haha, and so Jusant is a fundamental vibes game that just tells its nevertheless affecting minimalistic story through its lush environments. It's easy to fall into a flow state for all of Jusant's 4 hours, such is the hypnotic power of its simple but fun climbing mechanics and the beauty of its towering central location. Number 8. Coffee Talk. Given that 2.25 billion cups of coffee are consumed globally every day, it's little surprise that more than a few games exist about the joy of slurping down some nice hot Java. And king among them is surely Coffee Talk, a delightfully quirky visual novel in which players control a barista working in a Seattle coffee shop. The rub though is that Coffee Talk takes place in a fantastical alt reality where the likes of orcs, elves, and even succubi frequent the establishment. The game consists entirely of chatting with the diverse customers and fulfilling their orders, introducing a light puzzle element as you attempt to make them the correct drink. Oh, and you can even add your own latte art too. Combine this with a gorgeously retro art style and a lovely lo-fi musical score, and Coffee Talk is a must for caffeine lovers craving some relaxation. Better yet, Coffee Talk 2 is already out, and spin-off Coffee Talk Tokyo is due out later this year. Number 7. Dystopika. And so we come to Nerd Corner's suggestion of the cyberpunk chill simulator Dystopika, and as they put it, nothing beats building a bleak and beautiful cyberpunk city to unwind at the end of the day. Now, while it does feel weird to find the concept of aggressive neon and smog relaxing, it really is thanks to Dystopika's considered and perpetually chill approach to the building process. This is a game about balancing light and darkness, about stacking apartments upon one another and then watching your town hum and purr like an electrified terrarium. Films like Blade Runner are undeniably beautiful despite the grime and grit that covers every square inch, and Dystopika is no different, making it a wonderful experience that one could term tiny glowed if you're looking for gameplay comparisons. Light up the night with neon and bask in its ethereal glow. Number 6. Gris. Serene is probably the best word to describe this game, an almost unfathomably beautiful platform which proudly sells itself on its lack of danger, frustration, desperation or death. Dark Souls, this isn't. Taking control of the titular young woman, you explore an eye-wateringly gorgeous world, solving puzzles and traversing the environment with the help of a magical dress which unlocks a host of helpful abilities. Not to sound like a broken record, but yes, this is another game on this list without dialogue, instead using its intoxicating watercolored style landscape and ethereal music score to imbue its minimalist story with overwhelming emotion. Nothing here will challenge even the most novice of players, because this is designed to be a warm blanket of a video game that you want to be enveloped in for all of its 3-ish hours. And do not sleep on developer Nomada Studios' follow-up Never, which is admittedly a little less chill, but certainly no less beautiful. Number 5. Powerwash Simulator. The therapeutic allure of cleaning something that's really, really dirty is tough to deny, and so it's little surprise that Powerwash Simulator was a smash hit when it launched in 2022. The straightforward yet ludicrously addictive gameplay loop involves using powerful spray tools to remove dirt from objects and locations, whether dirty vans or messy houses. Boring though it might sound to some, there's a hypnotic, even trance-like allure to the gameplay, to seeing that percentage bar of cleanliness fill up as you power wash all the grime away. There's something to be said for the game's elegant simplicity, which offers up the opportunity to de-stress with a non-violent video game that doesn't ever take itself too seriously. And better yet, if you want to cozy up with some pals, Powerwash Simulator even supports co-op functionality for up to 6 players. If you ever needed to give your brain a holiday from a bad day, we'll just boot this game up. Plus it's got a Warhammer DLC. I'm just putting it out there. Number 4. Melatonin. While rhythm games don't exactly have a reputation for being the most stress-relieving of genres, Melatonin couldn't be further from the guitar heroes and rock bands of this world. Melatonin takes place in a dream world where the protagonist must navigate through 20 reality warping levels. The big hook is that it deconstructs the very nature of the rhythm game itself, ditching overlays and note highways entirely, with the player instead having to figure out when to press buttons based on visual cues and aural cues as well. It might sound stressful, but Melatonin is all about intuition, and across the roughly 2 hours it takes to beat, you'll likely quickly acquaint yourself with its unconventional gameplay style. Couple this with a charmingly hand-drawn art style and superb lo-fi soundtrack, and this is the perfect answer for anyone wanting to dip their toe into the rhythm genre but finds the fast-paced big hitters a little too intimidating. Number 3. Kind words. The world can always use a little more kindness and empathy, and that is the fundamental spirit behind Kind Words. While perhaps not a game in the strictest sense, Kind Words is all about voicing any concerns in your life, sending them out into the void in the form of a letter, and receiving a compassionate reply from an anonymous stranger. And of course, the whole point is that you'll not only write your own letters, but reply to other people who might be going through a tough time. While there is no substitute for therapy, Kind Words is a deeply moving testament to gaming's potential to unite totally random people from all around the world. That it also happens to boast inviting aesthetics and lo-fi music, well, that's just icing on the cake. And if that's not good enough, the recently released Kind Words 2 expands the heartwarming concept into a feel-good MMO. Number 2. Venba. Doing for South Indian cuisine what Coffee Talk did for Jitter Juice, Venba is a bite-sized narrative cooking game in which players assume the role of an immigrant mother who attempts to connect with her young son through food. Across Venba's 2 or so hours, you'll cook up an array of authentic, mouth-watering dishes, with light puzzle elements requiring you to select the correct ingredients in the right order. Venba is more than a charming cooking sim though. It also doubles as an affecting and at times devastating tale of family, and the role that food can play in strengthening the bonds within our loved ones. It's also rendered in a wondrous, painterly style, while accompanied by Tamil-inspired beats. But the real triumph of Venba? Well, it might just get you experimenting and trying out some of its delicious-looking recipes in your own kitchen. Just make sure that you don't play this on an empty stomach. And number 1, Journey. And finally, we have an oldie but a very, 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 very goodie. Journey is one of the undeniable gemstones of the indie gaming boom of the early 2010s, a mesmerizing adventure game in which players guide a robed figure across a vast desert towards a mountain in the distance. Journey offers no dialogue at all and only faint slivers of story told through its visuals, focusing instead on just the joys of traversing this beautiful land. But what takes Journey to another level is its unique approach to multiplayer. Though you can encounter and cooperate with other players throughout the brief adventure, there's no way to communicate directly, nor can you see their username until the end credits roll. You're simply leaves on the wind blowing towards the same destination, and it's up to you how you want to engage with them, if at all. Though Journey will turn 15 years old in 2027, it still holds up today as one of the strongest examples of gaming's artistry. Elevated by its impeccable art direction and Austin Wintory's all-timer musical score, this is a game whose primal emotional impact will stick with you for years after even a single playthrough. And there we go, my friends. Those were the top 10 cozy games you need to be playing right now. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. And also put your suggestion for what you pick as a surprise video game smash hit. And like I said, it could have been something that took over the world. It could have taken over your school. It could have taken over just a small group of friends. But it was a game that nevertheless you played every single waking moment you could, and you didn't see it coming. As always, I've been Jules. Hope that you're treating yourself well with love and respect, my friends. You can go follow me over on Blue Sky, where it's at RetroJ, but the O is a 0. Hope to see you over there. Hope that you're taking care of yourself, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.